We'll move now into the yoga portion. We'll do some pranayama, some breathing, some warm up, and we'll get started. Okay, so come to your comfortable seated position. If you notice that your knees are rising up above your hips, take a cushion and place it under your hips to lift them above the knees. You can also use a blanket, or you can use your blocks stacked and sit in diamond pose. That's another option. Elongate the spine, lift the sternum, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Begin to press your hands on your body just to awaken and to make contact, as if to say, hello body, I am here. And work your way up to the torso, the arms, shoulders, the neck, the head. Give yourself a little hug. Work your way around the back and then down. And then bring the hands to the heart center, palms together, and take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Focus your attention on grounding yourself through times of change. We'll move into the pranayama, the breath portion, and begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. We'll start off with the three-part breath, the Dirgha breath. And this is where we breathe into the belly. So inhale towards the belly and exhale. Place the hands on the belly. Inhale and exhale. Hands on the ribs. Inhale towards the ribs and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Hands just below the collarbones on the chest. Inhale towards the upper chest and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Put all three together. Inhale towards the belly, the ribs, the upper chest, and exhale, release and settle. And you can continue with the hand movements. Inhale. Or you can just use your awareness. Another thing I like to do is use the hands to trace where the breath is going. Hands just a little bit away from the body. And continue to breathe. In through the nose and out through the nose. So the breath restraint will help us to not only take a hold of our breathing to allow it to be rhythmic and even and steady, but it'll also help to quiet the mind. And release to regular breathing. We'll add on the ocean sounding breath, the Ujjayi. This is when you constrict the glottis as if you were fogging up a mirror, or exaggerating the way you would say home. Except we do it very gently and with the mouth closed. And we do that on the inhale and on the exhale. But we always start off again with the three-part breath. So elongate the spine, lift the sternum, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Lift through the crown of the head, gently tuck the chin. Come into three-part breath. Inhale towards belly, ribs, upper chest. Exhale. When you've found a steady rhythm, add on the ocean-sounding breath. Now, Dirgha and Ujjayi will help us to get into an introspective state. We'll use all three parts of the lungs and we will bring in more of our senses. And anytime we bring our senses into the experience, we become more present, more now oriented. Play around with the ocean sounding breath. Make it a little bit louder. Or make it a little bit softer, so soft that you can almost barely hear it. The ocean sounding breath is a superpower of focus and going inward. And when you're ready, release to regular breathing. Close your eyes, place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, and notice what you feel. And then gently release. We'll move into the warm-up, the Kriya. This is a time to gradually build into movement. So draw your attention down to the points of contact you make with the ground, your feet and your legs against the floor, your rear against the ground, and also your body being stacked on itself is a sense of grounding. Resume the three-part breath. Inhale, belly, ribs, upper chest. Exhale, settle down into the ground. Steady, rhythmic, even breath. Add on the ocean breath. And then the next time that you inhale, bring the arms out to the side, palms facing down. Exhale, lower. Raise just a little bit each time you breathe in. Increase a little bit higher as it feels good for you. You may decide that your arms want to just stay at shoulder height. That's fine. They can also go up. Whatever way your hands are going, bring the palms together and lower them down through the center. So the three hallmarks of Kripalu Yoga are, number one, safety. And that is why we use props. And also, we do these warm-ups to ease into our activity. The second is personal responsibility. You decide what is right for you. And wind it down, and wind it down. Take your right hand, I'm mirroring you, place it on the mat, continue the breath, and inhale, raise the left arm out to the side and lower. Inhale and exhale. Continue to build. The third hallmark of Kripalu Yoga is observation of the self without judgment. It is through the practice of yoga that we can see ourselves, and the real work is to be able to see ourselves and hold back the judgment. Begin to wind it down. Plant the left hand, shift, and then inhale, gradually start with the opposite side. And as we breathe in, we extend. As we breathe out, we contract. And begin to wind it down. Keep the breath going, 3-part ocean breath. Bring the hands forward. Inhale, raise the arms up, palms facing down. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, pass through center, twist to the left. You can have as much lift as you like in the center. You can have as much fold as you like on the sides. Keep the breath going nice and steady. These movements that we're doing, the 6 movements of the spine, we just did lateral, flexion, and extension. And now we are doing twisting to the left and to the right. Take your hands, palms facing forward, shift forward, and lift up into tabletop. In tabletop, you can take your hands as fists, or you can rest the palms down. Hands are shoulder distance apart. Knees are hip distance apart. The elbows and shoulders are stacked above the wrists. The hips are stacked above the knees. Inhale back into 3-part breath. Add on the ocean sounding breath. The next time that you breathe in, arch the back and lift the chin. Exhale, round the back and tuck the chin. And continue to cycle through dog and cat at your own pace, letting the breath drive the movement. And this is flexion and extension of the spine, movements 5 and 6. Anytime we practice yoga, we want to be sure to get the 6 movements of the spine in. And come back into neutral position. Shift your weight over, step onto the block in its highest position, and shift over and step onto the other. So the blocks are just about at shoulder height. Inhale, bring the left knee towards the chest, plant the left foot in line with the left hip. Come back into 3-part breath and ocean sounding breath. The next time you inhale, walk the blocks forward, lunge forward, just a little bit. Inhale, walk backwards, lunge backwards. And continue to cycle through the runner's lunge. And this is giving us a nice stretch along the front of the right hip and also along the back of the left leg, the left hamstring. If you want to have more, if this feels good and you want to have more, pause, wiggle the left foot forward and resume, but go easy because we've just upped the ante here. These are really nice warm-ups, and we're going at a slow pace here. Part of that is grounding. In order to be able to ground, you need to be able to feel the ground. And this movement is slow-paced and gentle to encourage the grounding. And pause, come back to center, press into the blocks, lift the left knee towards the chest, come back into supported table. Notice differences between the left and the right side. Inhale, shift your weight over to the left, plant the right foot. Walk the blocks forward. Just a little bit. Inhale, lunge forward. Exhale. Inhale, pass through center, lunge backward. Go easy and cycle through. Notice your own rhythms. There may be areas that feel a little bit tighter. You can move through those a little bit more slowly. You want to have more pause, wiggle the right foot forward, and resume gently. Gradually build. Kriya is really good for getting the body ready, but it's also a very good concept of gradually building as we embark on new things. So often people go all out too quickly and they burn out, but gradual building is good. Okay, pause. Inhale, bring the right knee towards the chest, come back into supported table. Shift off one block, shift off the other. You can set the blocks aside. We will switch to the seated position. So walk the hands off the left side of the mat, shift onto the left hip. Bring the right arm up and over the body, right leg out, right hand down, extend the left leg, and the knees are bent. So we are in a supported bent knee seated position. Your hands, they could be fists, the elbows could be bent, whatever feels comfortable. You can also have the palms down, facing forward, outward, or behind you, whatever feels comfortable for you. Feet are mat distance apart. We want them to be a little bit wider. Come back into your 3-part breath, an ocean sounding breath. Inhale. And then exhale, shift both knees towards the left. Inhale, pass through center, both knees towards the right. Go very gently and easy with this. We don't have twists in the earth salutations, so you want to get a little bit here. So look down at your feet. Notice if the lower legs are clearing one another. If your knee is landing on the opposite foot, then that means you need to widen your stance. So if your lower leg is all the way down on the ground and this feels good and you want to have more, you can swing your right arm out as you go to the left and swing your left arm out as you go towards the right. And these hip openers are really good movement. If you want to have a bit more, you can lift your hips up, but make sure your lower legs are stable on the mat or on the floor. Keep the breath going. And begin to wind it down and wind it down. Come back to stillness. So another way to transition to table would be to take your right foot, thread it under the left knee, left arm up and over the body to the right side, left knee towards the chest, walk the hands up and come into tabletop. Come back in the tabletop position, check to see that your hands are shoulder distance apart. If for some reason your knees are uncomfortable, you can just fold out your blanket and check to see your knees are hip distance apart, hips are stacked above the knees. 3-part breath into ocean sounding breath. Shift your weight over to the left. Inhale, raise the right arm out to the side. Exhale, curl the right fingers towards the left armpit and twist. Thread the needle. Inhale, extend. Exhale, twist. Keep the breath going. We don't have twists in the earth salutations, so get them in. And come back, bring it down, come back to table. Keep the breath going, shift the weight over to the opposite side. Inhale, raise the left arm out to the side. Curl the left fingers towards the right armpit and twist. Go easy. This side hasn't had as much. Keep the breath going. And come back, gradually bring it to center and come back to tabletop position. Another way to come back to seated is to cross the ankles and shift back. If for some reason your knees don't like that, then walk your hands off to the side, onto the hip, lift the opposite arm over, extend the leg, and come back. So as we transition into different positions, we will be doing that in the earth salutations. Okay, so we have completed our warm-up.